Greetings everybody, Nick D Virgilio here, and today's video is how to cut a hole in your kick drum head. Let's do it. The first question to ask is, do you need a hole in your kick drum head? Well, the answer is, of course, you don't. It all depends on the sound and feel you're going for with your kick drum. There's some fantastic drummers, some world class, some of the most famous drummers in the world who play with no hole in their front kick drum head. Simon Phillips, one of the greatest drummers of all time, loves to have both heads, no hole on the kick drum. John Bonham, Led Zeppelin, classic, played a big 26-inch kick drum most of the time, had no hole in the front head. But the vast majority of drummers, I would say, like to have a hole in the front head. That's how I personally like to play the kick drum because, the air moves through the hole. It's easier to bury the beater on the kick drum head. You have a nice, tight, punchy sound. It just feels good to me that way. If you're playing a jazz gig and you have a small kick drum like an 18 or a 20, you definitely want to have both heads with no hole in the kick drum head. You tune up the drum really high. You give it that nice tone. It's perfect for a jazz setting. But if you're playing metal, punk, funk music, pop, country, anything like that, the hole in the front head is definitely going to work for you. There's a number of ways to actually cut the hole in the kick drum head, but if you want a tool that works every time, it's this little guy right here from Gibraltar. It's the kick drum hole cutter. It has this little piece right in the center, this little tiny guy with a sharp, pointy thing right on the top here. You put that in one of the holes, poke it into your kick drum head, the cutter's at the other end, you turn it in a circle, I'll show you how it's done here in just a second, and you make a perfectly round hole with no jagged cuts in it or anything like that. It works every time. Another thing that's cool about this particular piece is each circle that's in the bottom is a different diameter of hole. The hole closest to the cutter here is 2 inches, and then it goes all the way up to 10 inches. So it just depends on the size of hole you want. If you're working with a band and you have a sound engineer, he might like a certain size hole. For me, I like the 6-inch hole. It works 99% of the time. Another tool you're going to need, of course, is your drum key. And then, if you want to make life a lot easier on yourself, grab a drill with a drum bit drill key here, and it'll take the head off in no time. It's a lot easier. All right, now let's get to cutting the hole in the head. I'm going to turn the kick drum over, take the head off, and show you how it's done. All right, let's get to cutting. Okay, here we go. Head is on the table and I'm ready to cut the hole. Now, if I was at home, I'd probably be on the floor doing this on my hands and knees, but it's just easier for this video to show you at this angle. It's also good to point out that there's a razor blade type tool in this tool and you don't want to cut whatever's going to be underneath your head. So, piece of cardboard, something to protect whatever's underneath your head. Like this table, I picked this old piece of something they had here in the video studio, and this is going to protect the table underneath the head. Right, turn the head over. I put 2 little pieces of tape right where the logos are on the other side so I know exactly where I'm at. Now this particular head has a muffling ring on the inside, so you don't want to cut that, so just make sure you're a little bit far away from that. I have the Gibraltar cutting tool in the 6-inch hole position. Another quick thing to mention before I make the cut, and what makes this tool so cool, is that this little pokey bit, which is right in the hole, the 6-inch hole, that's going to be the exact center of the hole. So you know it's going to be perfectly round. I take the cutting edge, and since I have this muffling ring, I'm going to go just a little bit next to it. All right, a little elbow grease is going to help here. Hold down the middle of it. Push the cutting tool into the head. All right, the hole is cut. Here's the piece I cut out. You have a nice, perfectly round hole. Now, I put it in the left quadrant. If you're looking at the kick drum head, the left quadrant. And the reason I put it there is because I want to keep the head nice and clean. If you're in a band and you have your band's logo or some nice artwork printed on the kick drum, you don't want the hole cutting out that beautiful artwork. So you put it somewhere out of the way so you can see the whole head, but you also want the hole where you can get into the inside and put the microphone there as well. So either the left or the right quadrant is going to work for that. So this tool really does work. It gives you a nice, perfectly round hole. There's no jagged edges. It's smooth. You don't have to put anything here to keep the hole from tearing. It's just a really nice, convenient little tool to have in your bag. All right, now I'm going to put the head back on the drum, do a little groove playing for you. Let's make it happen. And there you go. By the magic of video, I have a snare and a hi-hat. The hole is in the front head, and I'm ready to rock. If you want any more information about that little Gibraltar hole cutting tool, just contact your Sweetwater sales engineer. Keep making music, everybody. Thanks for watching. Thanks again for watching, everybody. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. Click right here for more videos just like this one, or go to sweetwater.com for all your music instrument and pro audio needs.